that was a repair on something installed, so you moved it. All right, that's perfect. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Even though I'll probably be in here, that girl Catherine's coming to pick her truck up. She doesn't owe us anything.
Okay, okay. And I think that the install that I scheduled this morning, I think it's already paid for.
Yeah, it's just an install for that Tiguan. I remember that now.
Cool.
He had scheduling issues.
Really nice guy, man.
Really nice guy,
cool.
yeah. Super cool.
Shuffling. I can drop stuff.
I better get back to her here.
Okay. Hey, Rody, what's up? So I did a conversion of a Acoustisonic, turned it into a tenor guitar, and the owner of the instrument came in over the weekend. 2, 3, hang on, I'll try and talk and work at the same time, and played the instrument, and she felt that she would like the strings better placed on the top 4 spaces on the instrument versus the lowest 4 spaces, which as a guitarist that's kind of counterintuitive, but that's fine. So we're reworking the nut, getting the strings put on here and using some new strings. Hello, the distance. What's up, brother or sister? Oh, just finished mowing, and good for you. Awesome.
Well, I have some questions for you.
And I'm kind of glad that I was asked to do this, because I failed to angle the end pins for her. These are ebony end pins. I love ebony. I have them in my Taylor. There's a video on my channel.
I have one that actually has.
Yeah, dog. Right on. I would like to thank all of you who may have pushed play on one of my videos. I have reached that magic number of 4,000 viewing hours of my channel. Only took about 10 years to get there, so that's kind of cool. Set 22 band, what's up? I don't know if we've met before or if you're somebody I know who uses a different name. That's cool. So I'm now able to make, well, hopefully have a see that my spacing is a little off up here. We'll get them all on here and I'll adjust that. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Hubs. And I don't know if y'all missed it when Hubs called me the other day. That's pretty cool. What's happening, Stu?
I just wanted to ask a question.
Yes.
Where do people send stereo receivers and things that we don't work on?
I recommend Inner Sound in Portland.
Okay.
I might have their contact info. Let me look.
No problem.
I had to do that with one recently. What do you
Well, I've
have?
got this Sansui, and I've actually got 2 units. My first unit my husband bought back in the 80s died, and so I found this one on eBay, and it's glitchy as hell.
It's glitchy.
Yeah, I mean it won't play in stereo, and if I turn the volume up very loud, it just shuts off.
Oh.
So I'll go ahead and push the power button off. Give it time and then push it on again and it'll come back on. But again, if you try to put any power through it, it just shuts it down.
Okay.
I'm kind of hoping out of the 2 units I can get one that'll work right.
Okay. Just monetarily, Inner Sound's about $100 an hour for them to work on your.
Sorry.
Yeah, no. I appreciate that. I talk like a pirate. So.
Oh, I do too.
Right.
And my favorite word, I'm sorry to say, is the S word. So
Right?
I have to be very cool about that wherever I
Nothing
go.
quite says it like that. You know, you might end up being into that
More than it's worth.
receiver a lot more than it's worth.
Okay.
But it will work.
Okay.
So.
Well, then we've got all these other units that go with it, so I'd hate to have this thing that we can't use. I mean, we got dual cassettes, we got the turntable.
I've had a few.
All of those work great.
Yeah.
It's just the receiver that's kaput.
They're
Let me see
really
if-
great until they go kaput, and they
And
same
then
kind
they're
of
really
problem.
kaput.
Yep.
I'm going to give you a phone number for Inner Sound in
Okay.
Portland. They are fantastic. They have done a ton of work for me back when I was playing through guitar amps. I don't do that anymore, but let me find them.
I'm trying to find my. There we go. Inner sound or enter?
Inner Sound,
Inner Sound.
INNER, Inner Sound, stereo repair. And they're in Clackamas.
Okay.
You'd probably find them there on the Southeast 82nd
Okay.
in Portland. Let's see. I'm not going to call them right this
Mike
moment.
is
but
in
I
Portland,
should be able
but
to.
Boise getting some ice stuff done. But I'll be
503.
here. I'll be here. I'll be around tomorrow for a little while. I'll be here till 6.
Okay, their number is 1-503
Okay.
655 2755.
2755. Okay.
What I would recommend is calling them. They're kind of sometimes they're kind of hard to get on the phone.
Okay.
Their staff like us is fairly minimized
Okay.
right now, but those guys, I don't know if I could recommend anyone better.
Okay. And these things weigh a ton, so shipping.
Yeah, shipping's going to be that
That's
was
the minimum. It's going to be shipping.
yeah. So you're going to be in it a little bit, but if you do, if you're planning on making a trip to Portland or whatever, I mean, gas is going to cost you as much as shipping at this point.
We're going to be going to the coast, so we could always ship it down there, get it fixed, and maybe pick it up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I understand.
And what street did you say it was on?
I'm sorry.
What street did you say it was on? You
What
gave me
street?
an address. Yeah.
Oh, let me
And that
go
way I can plug it in.
back here. Where is it? They are at 14927 Southeast 82nd Drive in Clackamas. So they're out near Clackamas
Southwest
Town Center, I
82nd
believe.
Drive. Okay.
Having been a
Yeah,
Portland boy.
I got Clackamas in there, but I didn't get the
Yeah.
street. Okay, 14927 Southwest 82nd Drive.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
And they're findable on Google.
That's
You
what I was
search
going
for
to do
them,
with the
so
address and the
you
phone
can do
number. I can
maps and find them.
Okay.
They've done. I can't say enough about their work.
Okay.
Those guys have fixed some amps for me that,
Okay.
you know, and I'm a pretty
hard
knowledgeable,
on too,
and
huh?
I could show you some of the amps that I'm working on now in the back, but those guys, they can find stuff that they're just set up with the technology
Right.
that looks like a solid state amplifier. In fact, I'm certain it is. It probably doesn't have any tubes, and those guys are set up to be able to help you.
Okay. Well, we've had the old one apart, and it has the small tubes in it.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wondering if we send them both down there. We've got the old one, and then we've got this one. So we've actually got two. Maybe with the two, they can make one that'll work.
Yeah, and you know, hopefully you got a good deal on it because
$500. Yeah.
Let me take a look over here. I don't think I have any old like Sansui or other amps. I do have this one that is a Marantz. It's sold, but oh, that's a Nick.
That put out the same power. These things are just monsters.
Yeah. And this one has been tested, and I think I went through and replaced all the light bulbs in it and all that. So, we do have this one up from that era.
And so it will run on their leads.
Yeah, and if yours is a component system that had a bunch of other stuff that plugged into it.
And then there's a turntable at the top. There's a big old speaker. There's two of those Sansuis. And there's another one on it. A little closer for that.
Yeah.
But we have.
That's rich.
There's the whole unit. This turntable on the top.
Amplifier, one thing.
Yep. With a speaker here again.
The problems that you're describing about turning up volume and things shutting off or shutting down sounds like an output. Could be an output. I can grasp at straws, I guess, what was wrong with it. But output transformer is likely what's wrong with it, or an output transistor. Those two parts they're what drives that thing. And so if one of those goes back, especially in today's world, those parts can get up there. But what I know about Intersound is that they get one in that's dead, but they find parts in it that are absolutely perfect. They sing. They throw nothing away. So that part of their business I just absolutely love. When I walk into their back of their shop, man, they have a room bigger than this. So it's just
full of stuff.
Yeah. So parts and pieces and stuff.
And our old one, I think one of the kids had dribbled something sticking out of the top of it. And there are a couple circuit boards that you could tell were fried because they had little fry marks on them. So those might be, the circuit boards might be the only thing wrong with it. The fuses might be good.
Yeah, if traces are broken in there, they might make contact until you start sending enough voltage through it where it goes, nope, I can't do that. And, you know, instead of having a wire that big, you've got a wire that big trying to, because it's been eaten away by Coca-Cola or whatever.
Because there's something sticky in there.
Right.
When we took the case off, there's something sticky in there, and you could see two circuit boards that had been torched on the old one. So maybe there's good stuff on the old one that can go in the new one.
Are they identical?
Identical. Same numbers, everything's
I'd be
identical.
shocked if they couldn't.
So I'm really thinking between the two, they can make one that works.
Right.
That's out of my capacity.
We do have one that would likely, it's area correct, or area correct, yes.
Okay.
So, you know, that would be the closest thing I've got. It says it's sold, but it's been sitting here for months.
And what do you want for this unit?
That, I am 100% certain. I think if this thing came in and Nick, like, dropped some cash on it right away. Stu? Let me grab Stu.
Okay. I'm not in a hurry. Take your
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Hey, Stu. That Marantz receipt that we have, Nick put it on. She's interested. His number's on it, but I'm just wondering if he's not interested in
Right, something that has the tape loops on it.
But that's the one we have. Is it Fingerboard? There's no price, nothing's written down, so I don't know what to do with that. Yeah, you know, all we do is Google it and see what it's worth.
You don't have to do that today, so I'll talk to my husband and see if we're gonna send these in.
And we do run into stuff like that quite often.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then if we decide not to do that, maybe we'll come in and look at this one and we'll see what
We need to make sure that it'll do everything, that it has all the inputs that you need and all that. What I would do if that's chance too, would be just match it with all of yours. And just talk to them. And you might be kind of shocked, but it's a dying trade.
I
So
bet it is,
the
yeah.
people that do it, there are very few of us out there. We're looking at two of the best, I think, on the West Coast.
It's too bad I can't bring it in here.
I
You
know.
guys vote between the two, can figure out one.
Yeah, I don't have the 10 grand to buy the equipment that it would take.
Yeah, I sold all my stuff, so I don't have my readers anymore.
So Intersound, those guys, I can't say enough about them. They are really, really cool dudes.
We'll let them know too, we've got both of them. So we'll look out between the two. I'd be happy to get one working one back.
They might actually get the one working that is the dead one easier than the
It
other
might
one.
be, yeah,
And
because
it's
he's
just
on that his whole life. And
It's
he knows.
just a stereo receiver, right? Left and right.
Yeah.
There are new ones out there that are $300.
Yeah, I know, but they just don't have what this one says its power capability is. And this one's, like I said, it's a monster.
And it has the dual tape loops on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had one of those in there.
Yeah. And they're monsters.
It takes two people to lift them just about.
It's 30-pound unit. That's why I came in with the pictures instead of dragging it in and having to drag it back out.
Don't carry that thing around.
No.
Yeah.
We put it under, I bought it for my husband for Christmas, this replacement one. We put it under the tree and he's like, I got no clue what that is. That's good, you're not supposed to. It's the first time in 33 years of marriage I was able to surprise him with Christmas present. He opened that and he's like, oh my God, where did you find this? eBay, dude.
It's so bad that it's not in working order, but that's common. Have you talked to the seller?
Yeah, they didn't guarantee it. They said it worked, but they wouldn't give any kind of warranty.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's ways we can get it, but that Intersound's going to be the best way.
Even the money I paid for it to them went all to charity. So.
What's that?
Even the money I bought, that I paid for it to the eBay seller, all the money that I paid for it went to charity. So they didn't keep the money, it went to charity. So, which made me feel a little bit better. But
if you do end up taking it to them, let them know that we sent you
I will.
there.
I will.
I've sent several people to them with very good results.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
And there have been one that I specifically remember, and he called me and he's like, dude, I can't fix this. This thing is so done that to buy parts to repair it, like they're going to be in this thing $2,500 by the time I'm done, because he's rebuilding the entire circuit board. It's just some of them.
Well, the old unit, like I said, I've had a couple circuit boards that were fried. Maybe the circuit boards out of the one we bought can just go into it and it'll work like a charm.
And they can often be.
So who knows?
I call them and tell them what you got going on and give them all the details. They're usually pretty good about talking on the phone, but it may take you a couple days to get in contact with them. And they usually call me back.
My husband's retired and I'm just home to run him, so that's another problem, being able to wait school.
Call them and just tell them what you got going on.
We've got 3 boys that live in this town. We wait for everything.
Right.
They never come over when we tell them to. So hey, thanks a lot.
You're very
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
What's your name?
Tana.
Tana?
It's Tana. Anna with a T.
Tana.
Yep.
My name is Tobin.
You had to think about that, didn't
It's
you?
Robin with a T.
Robin with a T. I got a guitar from you guys last fall. I haven't learned how to play it yet, so
Have a great
we'll
day.
get it figured out.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks,
Good luck,
Robin.
Tana.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right.
Woohoo.
I hope so. Thanks a lot.
Boy.
Appreciate your time.
Oh, Richard, what's up? Uh-oh. Where'd I go? I just set that down. Where? Mm-hmm. One of the dangers of doing multiple things while working on guitars, which I am called to do quite often, is setting something down or knocking something on the floor, putting it in your pocket, and misplacing it.
What are you looking for?
But you always have a spare, right? Whew. Andy, what's up, brother? Russ, welcome, man. Gary, it's good to see you. Richard, Mr. Falcrow. Got some really good news from Falcrow yesterday. That was kind of cool. Some good stuff coming up on his channel. Keep an eye out for that. Let's tune this bad boy up. So this is being strung up just like a mandolin, upside down guitar. There it is. I found it. It was literally right in front of my face. Alright. My amp is hot. Woohoo. Well, I'm gonna get to play this thing a little bit. Again, it's a guitar strung upside down. It's a mandolin. sounds just fine. So now we got to get the nut. They've got to get the nut right. Let's get this camera over here where you can see. I gotta get my bench squared away. All right. Electric nut cutting. This is the moment you don't want to go too far. $17. First fret action being really super important. Look at that thing, isn't that gorgeous? Pretty cool instrument. The lady that owns this is just such a fabulous and fantastic customer. She's just been so kind. Play the blues on a tenor guitar. It's strange for me to play a guitar like this. It definitely the fingerings are kind of odd for me. You know, and looking again at the string spacing, it's really pretty perfect. So I'm gonna stretch these strings a little bit more and send this home, or have the owner come in. She might come in this afternoon. Ooh, I left the volume knob on. Oh, that's a bad habit. When you're done playing, you turn the volume off. That's a... Trust me on that one. And the string action looks really great on this. I haven't really... I think I did check the neck relief last week when I had it on my bench, but we'll check it one more time real quick. Now that I've moved the strings down, we want to make sure. Ooh. Boy, that's perfect. Okay, I'm looking for 12 thousandths on this particular instrument. A lot of strats I'll go down to a 9. And it just feels great to play. I wish... doesn't work. A little bit of gain. But it sounds... Seems like it's pretty good shape. I think it's about ready to get the string snipped off of it, and we'll send her home. We can let her try it out, see what she thinks. Check the tuning. And that's what we do. There we go. Beautiful guitar. Look at that thing. Gorgeous. Let's just dust her off a little bit. I've played a few Fender Acoustisonics, just a few. This is the first client of mine that brought one in that wanted something like this done to it. Mostly they're just setups. These do generally come from the factory pretty well dialed in, so it usually doesn't take much for me to get them behaving properly. Although on this one, obviously, I've got different string gauges, less string tension, less strings, the whole 9 yards. So, you know, I really had to be careful. And what's really kind of cool for me is that I didn't have to mess with the neck relief. I have not turned the truss rod on this guitar at all. And as you can see, the different strings that are on it, and all of that, the fact that this neck held its shape the way it did, really a good moment. So I feel like what I can say, having that experience with this guitar, I think that these are very well built guitars, and the necks are very stable. String tension hasn't really done much to it at all, and the neck relief again is just absolutely perfect. So I'm feeling really good that I've given the customer what she asked for specifically, and now it's up to her to I think put the software in her computer and plug the USB cable into this and program some sounds into this. And you also have to keep these charged, I believe. So in fact, while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and leave this guitar here, but I'm going to go ahead and plug a charge into it. We'll see what happens. Yep, and a little red light comes on. I don't have a real long USB cable, but you can see a little red light comes on there, and now the battery is charging. So I'm going to leave this be for a little while, so that when she gets it home, she'll have a nice full battery on that. Why not, right? Woohoo! Hey Hugh, what's up, buddy? I haven't really been paying close attention to the chat, you guys, so set 22. I need to go to your channel. I'm going to your channel right now, brother. Let's see. Woohoo! Look at that. I typed a P and PJ Kobe came up first. Set 22. Whoops. I'm going to your channel right now, brother. Set 22 band. Let me find you. Filter channel. Set 22 band. There you are. Dude, you got 45 subscribers. What is up with that? Now you have 46. No, I'm subscribed to you already. I am. Okay, so you have, dude. Ask your mom, please, but she still says no. There we go. All right, brother. There we go. There we go. Well, you know, I think I've gotten enough on the play on the live stream today. I've got some frets to drive into a guitar neck, which is next on the bench. So, having said that, and I believe that I realized that on Friday last week, I realized that I actually may not have enough fret wire here to put all of the frets in the 24 frets guitar. Do me a favor and hit the thumbs up down there if you're having a good time. If not, don't hit them. That's fine. And if you are subscribed, go hit the notification bell, and you'll know when I've got a new Welcome to the Bench episode coming up, or release a new song, something like that. I've got some stuff in the works with regard to new music. I haven't put out anything for a while. I don't do very often anyway, so I'm not in any big hurry to do that, to be honest. It's kind of fun. Oh, okay. All right. Yes, and that's an important part, Charlie, what you just brought up. 22 band, I am subscribed to you and I have notifications set up for you. It doesn't look like you have a ton of videos on your channel, but looking forward to that. Right on. Okay, so I am about to move on to driving some frets into a fingerboard. And I can kind of show you my method of doing it. I don't do frets a lot. It's something that not a lot of people are. I think number one, a lot of players don't know that they need new frets. But I'll give you a little history on this particular guitar. Anybody need a quarter? 25 cents. Alright, gonna clear my bench here of stuff that will be in the way for this process, because I get to beat the tar out of a guitar neck right now. I have my block, don't need a pencil, don't need a string gauge, but I do need this. Oh yeah. Here we go. The hammer. Don't need that. Don't need that. Basically gonna clear my bench down to almost nothing.
And you need to have navigation.
There we go. Let's get a neck.
Okay, so you don't really care about that?
No.
So you can go inexpensive, or you can go awesome.
I'd rather go with something awesome that'll last me.
Okay, now are you really concerned about a disc player or not?
A disc player? No. I use
Right.
Spotify for everything.
All right, so you're more interested in Apple CarPlay, Android, all that
Right.
kind of stuff. A little more.
Great
or
to
you
know
want
you're out
some-
for a walk there, Falco. That's
Then
cool.
you have one that's, you know, this the straight up. This is like to me is a great deck, but it's like the entry level of the good decks.
Okay.
Yeah, it does have a disc player in it, so you'd have that feature too. That's not that would not be that much of an upgrade from what you had in there.
Okay.
That definitely would be. This would be crazy upgrade. This would be some, you know, quite a bit of an upgrade.
Okay.
But that's where it'd be like this, and then let me show you. Oh, 376. That's the one I was looking at. That's the next notch up from that one, but they're the same price. So
Okay.
honestly, that's been a real good deck. Real simple. A lot of people don't like the push button volume, and they like the round knob because they're old school.
Just bending some fret
That's where
wire.
the money's out there.
Okay. I like the round knobs because it's easier to control on driving.
All right, so like this, let's look this thing up. And we can use all the stuff you have there.
So since the last time when I was working on this particular refret and reattaching the fingerboard to the neck and all of that, the neck had no radius. The guy that bought the neck thought he was doing something good, and he flattened the neck out and made it like a nylon string guitar, which it'd be great if it was a nylon string guitar that I'm putting frets on, but I'm not, obviously. 24 frets. The old speed neck. This is off of a Dean guitar. I don't know the exact model, and at this point really doesn't matter. This guitar is being modified very, very intensely, and we need to bend this fret wire to give it some radius so that the ends get stuck down in here. And on this one, we're going to see how we'll see how these frets feel when they go in, and how deep if they sit flush, they will and should stay into this guitar really well without the use of any super glue today. Preston, great show the other night, brother. And we all had a great time over with Falcro the other night. Enjoyed some live streaming from Leela. She's on live quite often. So Kim was going over GarageBand stuff and all of that, which is utterly useless to me, but hey, iOS is becoming a very powerful, has become and has been a very powerful recording tool. And I'm sitting here babbling while I'm working, multitasking. I don't use any Windows stuff, or I'm sorry, I don't use any Apple, Freudian slip, products at all. They're not allowed in my home just because of the invasive nature of the company, but they sure do help a lot of people get their music out there. You push a button and all this beautiful music comes out the other end. It's kind of cool. It's interesting to learn about it from Jade. Gary's shared quite a bit with me and his productions. Although Gary plugs a guitar in and actually plays a guitar on his stuff most of the time, which I'm really grateful for. And that dude writes some really great stuff. His production is awesome.
All right, bud. We can call here a little bit. You're welcome.
Yeah, Preston, I was there for just a little bit and didn't have a chance to let anybody know I was there. I was actually busy doing other stuff at the time. You know, I can't spend as much time as I'd love to on live streams. I work a lot with guitar students and online consulting with people getting their studios set up, and they want some personal attention to questions they have. I make myself available for that. And if I'm getting paid, I'm going to get paid. Wrote a song on Friday, something like none of you have ever heard me play before. All you boys would be just crying. Oh yeah. I might have said something, Preston, man, but I try and get onto your streams, man. I can't always be there. I often am working my time until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and I've got to get studio work done at the same time. I think I might have left I left the stream running when I couldn't be there in attendance. I try and do that for everyone, even Hippie. I've been running his show the whole time. I'll just say hello and let it run. Hippie's still doing the amazing stuff that he's been doing for years now, and it's great to see him doing well and getting the good turnout and new people showing up on his show. It's awesome. I'm really proud of him. Okay. So I'm just checking my radius, and I'm okay to be a little bit over a lot over the radius. So I'm gonna kind of see. Hey, got one more piece here. We'll burn up this this short piece here. Now there's really not a lot of rocket science in doing a fret job. It's a lot about having the right tools for the job. And speaking of which, I need to get my these bad boys being a really important part of this. I'll get you pointed down here in the right direction. I want to get a little bit more radius. I'm just turning my amplifier off. Panda Cat, what's up, brother? Poo Ninja, watch hours. Yeah, gotta get them. Well, you know, I was at 3,800 and I don't know, 79, all on my own accord without asking for any help or anything like that. And then I hit that 1,000 subs mark, and I knew about the 4,000 hour mark that you've got to hit. Oh, and these are going in really nice. This is a brass hammer, so the brass being softer than the nickel doesn't dent the frets. Not to mention, I could tap them in with the plastic side of this, but I don't feel like I have the authority with that. And this fingerboard is nearly perfectly flat. The radius down here is about 24 inches, so take a 24-inch circle and you'll know where the radius is. And I like to push down and cut at the same time to keep that. And obviously having the guitar neck off of the guitar is awesome. Yeah, dude, I mean, if you think about watch time, 4,000 hours, let's do the math. So, for me, I relate to it like this. Life experience, a lot of us have it. In order for me to become a journeyman plumber, I had to have 8,000 hours documented over a span of 4 years, work hours. So that's basically 8 hours a day for 4 years. That amounts to right in the neighborhood of 8,000 complete hours of on-the-job work. And YouTube asks that what's the population of our planet? That you get people watching your channel for 4,000 total hours. Now, I'm no Rick Beato. I know a lot of the information that he shares, and it's really interesting to see, but that's a lot of time spent. You literally have to spend 2 years, 8 hours a day watching the internet, or people around the globe have to spend that kind of time. So, you know, I've used this comment a lot, but I'm not a woman, so I don't have that going for me to get that watch time. You know, I've had to do it on the content of my channel, and I'm really proud of that. It's been all guitar repair and music. And the last 3 years is when I've seen the most growth. So those of you trying to build community, especially if you're a man, get involved in the community like Metalhead Hippie, Ron Ward, those sorts of things, and you'll find subscribers. But I think really what's really important is to have good content. Putting out good stuff really helps. I'm going to use the plastic end of my hammer at this point. We'll get you pointed back down here where the business happens. And I knocked the pick right out of that guitar neck. Yep. The cool part is I'm realizing that I'm not losing a lot of material, not a lot of leftover on these. And each one of these, when I get it driven down into the fingerboard, I'm checking to make sure that the frets are sitting nice and flat against the radius of the fingerboard. And these are going in really nicely. The slots in this neck were cut very nicely by the manufacturer of it, so I'm really happy about that. And they're just totally staying put. Love it. Going in pretty nicely. And you know, another thing what we can do is check with a piece of paper along these to make sure that they have no gap. Usually along the edges of the frets there'll be a little bit of the ability to get a little bit of paper in there, like right there, and if I give that a little tap, still can get a little bit of, see where she's at. Yeah, and that one I can see that it's trying to push up. And sometimes that's where they want to be. That's why, that's exactly why leveling frets after you're done is totally necessary. The strength of it. This is a maple neck. I am absolutely not. If this was a Les Paul, I would definitely be doing this. No, I use a block of wood, and I will lay that on here and follow the radius of the neck to get them to sit nice. It's one of the, yeah, it's not a Gibson, exactly. This one I'm not worried about at all. If I broke this neck, I could have a new one here in a matter of minutes. So. Charlie, have you ever done a fret refret on a guitar? Curious. Or have any of you done a refret on a guitar? I would think that Hugh has. I think Hugh has. And if you haven't, I highly recommend it. Just because somebody said something, I'll go ahead and put that there. I think I was, I don't know, I must have been yeah, I bet, man. Yeah, okay. Right. I think I want to say I was probably 17 when I first had an experience where I had a guitar that I had played since I was like 12, and I had worn off the first 5-6 frets of the fingerboard, just worn them down to nothing. And you know, the gentleman at my church helped me. He had the right tools. He had a brass hammer and some snips and things like that, and we sat in what do you call it, where do you meet at the church, the big room. Yeah, oh cool. And he showed me how to do it, and I realized that it's not that big of a deal. I'm really grateful. This neck being brand new, these slots are really grabbing these frets nicely, and they're staying put really, really well. And I can tell that it's not going to take a lot to make sure that they're all sitting flush with the fingerboard. Which therein lies another situation, that when I put the radius on this neck, I did it by hand. I do not use the concave fret or fingerboard filing angled things. I just never bought one. Because what I've found is that by using a radius gauge, which I have, and I'll show you the radius on this one. Doing it by hand allows us to create a compound radius on the fingerboard, which in a lot of cases the infamous 59 Les Pauls that we all hear about, go ahead and put this in here. I'm just making sure that I don't break the headstock on this guitar. They have a compound radius because they were sanded by hand, and I feel like it's part of the mystique and customized work that I'm able to do. Let's see, this one, here we go. So this particular neck, 20-inch radius here at the first few frets. No rocking, there's no gap in the middle. It's not more than 20-inch or narrower than 20-inch. Now we get down to about here. Yeah, right about here at the 12th, 9th to 12th, I start to see a little gap. So I'm at the 13th fret, and that little gap turns to, where are you? Yeah, it turns to a, I can only guess at this point, but I would say a 24-inch radius. As we get up to here, you can see the gap in that gauge. So definitely custom compound radius fingerboard. So it's one of a kind, ultimately. And I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. Enough companies have tried to do that. Oh man, yeah. Dude, the chip out. Yep. Yeah. What I do, what I've found to be very successful for doing a refret, for pulling frets, is heat and water. Looks good. I don't know if you've ever tried that before, Hugh, but putting a little water on the fingerboard and then taking a soldering iron to them. If they're glued, heat will break just about any glue loose, in my experience. Except maybe epoxy, which is not welcome on my bench. I want to make sure they're long enough. I don't want to put one in that's too short. And I did have enough fret wire. I ordered new fret wire just in case I didn't have enough. And I do have a wire bending tool to create the radius, but I use it seldom. And given this is a compound radius fingerboard, I'm not too nitpicky about that sort of stuff. Not that I don't care, because I definitely use them. If I've got a Fender with a 7 1/4 inch fingerboard built in 1952, I will most certainly use the radius bender. But on this one, that one is not wanting to go in there. Let's flip that around. There we go. Looks good. What happened with that one is this fret wire twisted a little bit. Sometimes it'll do that when you're bending it. You know, having been a plumber for a lot of years, you know, my hands are pretty strong. So I can usually keep it from twisting. That one twisted right there at the end. So I just flipped her around. And two more. That's all I got. Again, when I'm making that snip, I'm kind of pushing down on them to help keep them pushed into the slot versus just snipping it. It'll pop those things right out of there. It's happened. Are y'all getting sick from the vibrations? Here we go. And I have at least two left that I could do on this thing. So I got enough material here to do at least two more frets. I'm going to throw that piece away. It's twisted. And I'll come down this side and trim off any excess that I don't want. And when I snip these off, again, I'm pushing downward to keep them from popping out. And I'm also cutting at a slight angle towards the center of the fingerboard so that I've got a start on my 30-degree angle that I put on the edge of all frets that I do. Get that from a guy named Les Paul. That's the angle he liked, my understanding. The next portion of this work, the next part of this work is some of the most time-consuming, and I usually do this before I level them, and that is take it down the sides and knock off all the tines, get it leveled off. A lot of file work happening here. Now, you know, you figure it costs like $120 to do a refret on a guitar, and your tech will likely have the guitar on his bench for, I mean, he's not talking to people like I am and spending time doing that, but likely that neck's going to be on his bench for 2 to 3 hours before the neck is done itself. So, you know, that's a pretty reasonable rate when it comes to that. This one obviously required a lot more work because I had to glue the fingerboard on and create the radius and all of that stuff. So, you know, I'm doing my best to keep the costs down, and so I should shut up now.
Probably the biggest amp I have. That's a 4-channel. You kind of want to sell, right? Yeah. Yep, I'd do one of these or the big punch 500. It's 500 PR and a half. It's not like a 2,000 watts on there for 300 watts. You know, that'd be cool. That's 53 on the but it's not cheap. I'd have to look it up. Let me get the model off that.
So there you go, right there.
You can get the
Rough side.
or even just
And this one's been hit with a 30-degree file.
No. They're not. They're lined up with the birds. For special applications. So what else do you need besides the amp?
I have the speaker.
You have a box? They already had wiring in it, so we had another amp in there.
No, I didn't know how to
Is the wiring in the car? We can't do it today. We can't do it probably all this week. That's what we put it on the calendar.
No, I can do it right now.
Yeah, let's get price on that amp right there.
The 550, 150.
That's the biggest amp I have up there.
I don't need the biggest amp. Like the whole,
That's a 4-channel, that's a 4-channel. That is a 4-channel, or a 5-channel. That is 2-channel, which you can bridge. These are inexpensive. Probably your best bang for your buck would be that. It's 500 watts RMS.
All right. That's feeling pretty good. It still has a bit to go. But I'm going to go ahead and get my flat file out here, if I can find it. I don't know how long I've had this file, but it has filed a lot of stuff. Doesn't that sound awesome? I have a lot more filing left to do on this thing. And it's just about time, given my health condition that I have. It's about time for me to go get a bite to eat for lunch. And one of my drummers just sent me a text also. That's kind of cool. You might have something to look forward to on that. Oh yeah, let's see, where am I at? Where am I at? I'm at 104. My blood glucose is perfect. I love it. So I'm gonna go home and have some lunch. I want to thank all of you for hanging with me today. I'll be doing this quite often. And so if you just happen to drop in, you can catch a glimpse of what I'm doing here. And I'm happy to share all this stuff with you guys. And you can see how my process is and what I do every day, almost every day. So I know all of you are subscribed that are in the chat. If there are those of you that are lurking and aren't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I will see all of you, Gary, Rhodey, you, Preston, Zach, who else? Andy, Timothy. Want to just be sure to say hello. Gary Hubbs, thank you for all your help. Panda Cat, it's great to see you here today. Charlie, yeah, filing for days. And you know, there's another thing. Stainless steel frets are not the same thing. Stainless steel frets, it's easily double, and you have to have some serious toolage. I mean, diamond type files. You would ruin this file on a piece of stainless steel. So these are not stainless steel frets. I generally don't like to work with stainless steel just because the time consumption, and I'm not tooled up to do that. So there you go. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Watch Ron Ward tonight at 6 o'clock West Coast time. You can do the math on where you live. I think Metalhead Hippie's going to be on tomorrow night, Tuesday. I don't know when Lou Reality does her stuff. Falcro will be on Wednesday night. I think Preston and Falcro have shows that overlap one another. And personally, I don't really care if somebody else is online. I try and be polite, but you know, if I want to go live, I'm going to go live. That's just my way of rolling. So have a great day, evening, morning, whatever time of day it is. Peace, y'all. Be kind to one another.
But if you already have a power supply, that's the thing, or a battery. But then you got to charge your battery up every night, and then you run it